My 2000 Honda Insight has a check engine light, and the problem could very well be counterfeit parts from Amazon. I'll explain more after the intro. Here under the hood of my Honda Insight is a sensor and also a prop rod. The rod is now propped. There's a sensor. It's right there. That is called the LAF, or the primary O2 sensor. That is what takes the exhaust readings from the exhaust, feeds it back into the ECU, which then makes decisions about fueling based off that. This is a Bosch wideband O2 sensor. And according to my ECU, it is faulty, which, if you're getting deja vu, you're not alone. I just replaced that sensor when I got this car, or shortly thereafter, so about 2 years ago. And so it's a bit strange that it will have failed already, considering that it is an OEM part. And the original OEM part lasted for 17 years, so 2 years is a bit odd. Here's what I think happened. But before I get started on that, just to detour real quick again, the kit arrived for the lithium conversion for the Insight, so I have about 6 hours worth of YouTube videos to watch in order to figure out what it is I'm doing, and I need to clean off my workbench a little bit, and I need to get a computer out here to actually keep the instructions up while I work. So there's a bit of work to do before I can actually do the work. I also have to make sure that the old battery that I'm going to use for this conversion is actually able to be prepped, or do I need to... It's kind of a mess. The old battery frame I have was modified for a grid charger, and I need to undo those modifications before I can remodify it, because the pack in my car does work and I don't want to destroy that pack. So some stuff has to happen. That video will be coming here hopefully soon. But I also have to get the car that I'm using as a tripod, which is the PT Cruiser, back together and out of the shop. So there's a lot that has to happen. I am working on it. Video hopefully coming soonish. So here's the thing about Amazon. Amazon themselves are not necessarily a first-party supplier of anything outside of their own Amazon Basics line of products. Even when you see something that looks super official and it says see more things in the brand store, that doesn't actually mean that it's always being sold straight from that brand. If I buy some NGK spark plugs from Amazon, it doesn't mean that I'm buying them directly from NGK's warehouse in wherever. In very small text, so small you can hardly see it on most pages. If you look, you can see sold and shipped by insert company here. I went back and looked at the listing for the Bosch, I believe it's Bosch, O2 sensor that I bought for the Insight, OEM part, and it was sold and shipped by something something LLC. I'm not going to name any specific names here. I think it's changed since I bought it anyway. I had to go look at the original invoice to find who it actually was sold and shipped by. And when I looked up that company, I found nothing. They simply exist as an entity. They don't actually have a storefront or physical location that I could determine. They're just an LLC shell company, effectively, which is a bit suspicious, because the more you think about it, the easier it is to find a very, very, very straightforward way for unscrupulous people to make lots and lots of money using Amazon as a legitimate-looking storefront. Let's say you're a large manufacturing facility in China making O2 sensors for Bosch. So for example, the thing that separates the most expensive bushing in a list of bushings available on RockAuto from the least expensive one is their quality control. A more expensive part could have been made from the exact same molds as a less expensive part, but the more expensive part will have a higher rate of rejection due to more strict quality control. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but this is one thing that can separate the men from the boys when it comes to parts. And that's one of the reasons why it's important to buy OE when you're dealing with something like my BMW, because you could get away with getting a good part from a cheap Amazon brand, but you know that the quality control has been done around the FCP Euro. I'm going off on a tangent again. This whole thing's a tangent. We're just stacking tangents on tangents in this video. But Bosch is going to be making these O2 sensors, and they're going to have some pretty strict quality control that is probably going to result in some rejections. Now, I can't see into their facility to know exactly how their quality control works, what happens to the rejects, but it's pretty logical that humans are involved, and humans are corruptible. Someone could have been handed a couple $100s and told, hey, could you grab me those rejects? Now, I would expect that they would be in some way rendered inoperable, but any amount of money could make anything happen, and it's very, very reasonable to me that someone could have gotten their hands on a bunch of genuine Bosch O2 sensors that failed the quality control check, or maybe enough units failed to check that an entire lot was scrapped, even though 90% of them could very well have passed quality control. It depends on how stringent their quality control standards are. I can simply surmise about what I've learned in engineering and product development classes I've taken in the past. I believe legitimate products can make their way onto the gray market and be sold despite being lower quality, even though they are technically genuine. So dude pays dude to take a whole bunch of quality control rejects, and then he sells them through his LLC shell company through an Amazon store and makes $160 profit effectively on all of them because they cost him a hamburger to a Chinese factory worker somewhere who was able to grab them for him. And this is just assuming that he doesn't take one, copy the design, and spin up his own company to make them with even lower quality control standards, so he's able to make them for pennies on the dollar and sell them as genuine himself. That is just straight up counterfeiting. I think, because my part that I got, for all intents and purposes, does seem to be legitimate, but I have my suspicions that it is a quality control reject that got through, judging by this sort of sketchiness of the company that actually sold it to me. So how do you avoid this? Don't buy from Amazon. It's just people selling things to you. There is no real network of checks and balances here, and no real, I mean, you can get a refund, sure. I mean, I can't really get a refund. It's been 2 stinking years. But what you can do is buy things from a company that puts a little magnet in the box, or a local parts store, or direct from the OEM or dealership. I mean, those are all more expensive, but you kind of get what you pay for. They put magnets in the boxes. I mean, how can you say no to that? Ah, they hit it. Prize in every box. So for the sake of curiosity, let's get the old sensor out of here. It couldn't be simpler. 7/8 wrench right on there, which is good because I can't find my O2 sensor socket anywhere. I already unhooked it. Oh yeah. See, it comes out easy when it's only been in for 2 years. Yeah, that looks normal. It looks lean because this car has a lean burn mode that is, you know, lean. Oh, this is NTK, not Bosch. Wow, I spent this whole time talking about Bosch, but this is actually NTK. But the point still stands. Any company, this could happen to. They both say NTK and Japan on them. Plugs look identical, weather pack. I don't think this old one that broke is fake. I'm pretty sure it's legitimate. There's just a decent chance that someone stole it off of the QC reject line and decided to sell it on Amazon, because there's not a whole lot that Amazon does, because they don't care. They're making their money. The guy that's selling it doesn't care. He's making his money. And if one is DOA, then whatever. He returns it and he's not out much. One win for him covers up like 5 L's. And NTK doesn't care a whole lot, because what is this going to do? Damage their brand reputation a whole lot? It costs a lot of money for them to institute a whole bunch of protections to keep this from happening in the first place, and all those protections could be bypassed by someone paying the right people some money. I'm not saying that for sure this is what happened. I'm just saying this is something that could happen, and on a place like Amazon, where it's more of a free-form warehouse, it's something that you have to either be careful of or accept, or spend money to buy a genuine part from a dealer, or buy something from Rock Auto. In this case, the genuine part is available through Rock Auto, so that's what I did. This is not a sponsored video. Boy, that really crushes my washer, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it should be good. And then we plug it in, just like Glade. There we go, car fixed. Since it's here, let's take a look at the lithium kit for the Honda Insight. Just do a quick unboxing just to keep this ball rolling. I'm really excited. It's, like I said, gonna take me a little while to actually get to a point where I'm ready to install this, but at least we can look at the craftsmanship. There is a lot here. This part is a grid charger. That is a 110 volt AC connector. You can actually plug the so like if you were to use a whole bunch of assist and wear down your battery, which is something you might want to do, you can plug it back in and charge it back up. So you can actually get way better fuel economy by just replenishing your battery every night and then intentionally driving like a jaghole to wear your battery back down. Or you can use something like a manual IMA controller and just having it use way more assist than usual, you know, change your assist schema, which is something I will look into. It helps if you try to cut with a sharp end, which is something I will probably look into. There's also talk of using the hybrid assist as a cruise control, keeping the throttle at a specific setting and then using the hybrid assist to actually increase or decrease your speed, since one of the upshots of this hybrid yes, giant ferrite core. That's kind of cool. One of the upshots of this is you go from 10 kilowatts of a total assist to 20. Some very nice laser cut pieces here, which appear to be, yeah. Man, it's amazing to me that a member of the community was able to make all of this. Not only, you know, electrical engineering, but bringing a product to market, insanely difficult. Seriously, blown away. So these plug in to the lithium modules and adapt them to the board. This is various cables, all nicely labeled. This one is not labeled. I'm not sure what that does. Most of these are labeled, shielded, sheathed, go to all manner of different things. For example, you know, these are all the positive battery cables. Wow, that's nice quality cable. Wow, very nice, thin stranded. So if we start, oh my gosh, yeah, high voltage DC, positive and negative cables. You will want to not lick those when this is assembled. We've got more high voltage cables. These I want to be very, very careful with. If those pins get bent, that is bad news for me and the battery. Assembly hardware, lots of it. Some warning stickers to put on, which, you know, important. I have no earthly clue what these are yet. Zip ties, bubble wrap. This is what I'm really, really excited to see though. And gosh, I don't want to pick this up the wrong way. This is where, oh, that's what this is. This is the controller LCD, or info LCD. Okay, cool. But this is where all the magic happens. This is the main lens sight board, and just the solder joints are fantastic. I don't know if he has a fab shop that puts these together, if he assembles them himself. I think he has a fab shop do it. There's so much here, and this custom case to enclose it. I am nerding out so hard right now. And then there's an Arduino, I believe, Mega. And he went with an Arduino Mega because the AT Mega controller is actually more expensive than a full Arduino board, if I remember correctly. But it's just so well done. He managed to even get a hold, what I cannot create, I do not understand. I love it. I love it. Danger, high voltage, when we kiss, when we touch. I'm super stoked to get to work on this. I'm gonna get a computer out here set up. I'm probably gonna do a video on setting up a computer, honestly, because it's so useful and so easy to refurbish an old PC for use out here in the workshop. So stay subscribed if you want to learn about some quick computer things.
You are so very welcome.
Okay, Alexa. Thanks for watching.